Leadership Summit is our own contribution to a nation that is in desperate need of direction. Our leaders have continued to lose focus, and more are interested in, and they have interested in agendas that do not really matter to the majority of the Nigerian people. Our leaders surround themselves with distractions, and they make it impossible to concentrate on a progressive Nigeria. In our opinion, we need to shift the focus of the Nigerian people in an effort to make a connection with the leadership in order to create a cycle of greatness and achievement. What we're saying is that there is a disconnect between the Nigerian people and the Nigerian leadership, and we need to make that connection. How can Nigeria expect to develop when we have so many barriers and so many chains which we ourselves have created that are holding us back? For instance, we have created barriers that have been designed to ensure that we will not succeed. The challenges of the Nigerian state are legion, but the solution is very simple. We need to focus on leadership. The leadership of our nation, the leadership of our institutions, the leadership of our corporations, the leadership of our schools, the leadership of our communities, and like the chairman said, even the leadership of our families. It all needs a total overhaul because our value system has been skewed and our direction is without focus. Some of the drawbacks I would like to share with you. Number one, the Nigerian Constitution. I'm happy that the representative of the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Jones Onyerure, mentioned here that they are very interested in getting feedback from you on recommendations for the amendment of the Constitution. The document is fundamentally flawed. We are running it, it's the best we have now, but there are several challenges with the Nigerian Constitution. The document has clauses that will continue to ensure Nigeria cannot, and my word is cannot succeed. We cannot succeed with the document as presently constituted. We are presently in denial. You cannot build a nation if we continue to treat our fellow citizens in the same country as outsiders. What am I talking about? The indigent clause. You cannot be talking about an indigent clause in a nation with a homogeneous society like ours. I live in Lagos. I pay my taxes in Lagos. I should be able to contest an election in Lagos. You have people in the crisis going on in Plateau State. You have people who have lived in Plateau State for 3 generations, yet they are referred to as non-indigens. It is ridiculous. 2 weeks ago, a justice of the Federal High Court was given an appointment as an appeal court judge, and the chief judge of the nation refused to swear her in because they said she is from a different state. Whereas she was married in Abia State, she has lived in Abia State, she has worked in the judiciary of Abia State for over 15, 20 years. The indigent clause must go. We must replace it with state of residence. The Nigerian people, especially the Nigerian elite, we feel so proud when we have a little money and our wives are pregnant. We take our wives to United States. They get born and immediately the child becomes a citizen of the United States. Is that not so? You have Nigerians in the US that have contested for mayoral positions. We have Nigerians that are mayors in some cities in the United States. But you cannot do that in Nigeria. That is ridiculous. The indigent clause must go. We also need strongly to increase the barrier to entry for becoming a political leader. The barrier is outdated. You have a situation where to become a leader, all you need is a secondary school certificate. Am I correct, Honorable Jones? Secondary school certificate. I like to use an analogy that I always use with my colleagues. I said, there are 4 professions. that we're very familiar with in Nigeria. And I always ask this question. The medical doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, and the political leader, who would you think is the most important? 7 times out of 10, I get the answer, the medical doctor. Right? 2 times out of 10, I get the answer, the lawyer. Maybe 1 time out of 10, I will get the answer, the engineer. But never do I ever get anybody telling me the political leader is important. In my opinion, let me break it down for you. The mistake of a medical doctor will cause a casualty of 1 person, his patient. Is that not so? The mistake of a lawyer will cause maybe the incarceration of 1 person, his client. But the mistake of the engineer, now you're getting serious, because if the building falls down, 10 to 20 people could lose their lives. And God forbid it is a bridge, then you're talking about thousands of people. But the political leader, every decision he takes controls the lives of millions of people. That is the most important job in this country. And yet we have a secondary school certificate for becoming a political leader. It is ridiculous. We must raise the barrier for our leaders. You cannot be expecting to have a progressive 21st century society, like the chairman said, and you have people with secondary school certificates making decisions for us. It must change. The Constitution also demands for a minimum of 36 ministers, which means every state of the Federation must produce a minister, regardless of what the budget is, regardless of the direction of the particular administration. The GDP of Nigeria, do you all know what GDP means? The gross domestic product, which is a combination of all the goods and services that are sold and bought in the nation in every particular year. Our entire GDP is $250 billion, give or take. We have over 42 ministers for a nation with a GDP of $250 billion. The United States has a GDP of $15 trillion. $15 trillion. And the entire cabinet, the ministers of the United States, are 15. 15. So tell me, are we not set up to fail? There is a need for leadership to focus on jobs. There is a global competition building among nations, and the world's jobs, the world's energy, and believe it or not, the competition about the world's access to fresh water. Nations who do not choose the deepest and most innovative, most creative people as their leaders will most definitely lag behind. And lagging behind the rest of the world means that Nigeria will continue to wallow in poverty, disease, crime, malnutrition as a direct result of the fact that we continue to choose inept and corrupt leadership who can never take us to the promised land. The choice is ours. We can either take the bull by the horn by engaging our present generation of leaders and educating them, by providing them with a clear strategic direction, which we believe should be our mantra. Or we can sit back and do nothing, be docile and complacent, and watch Nigeria that we love so much fall to pieces.